press, welcome to the Axopar booth and to our international press event. Start on the opening day on Tuesday every year, more or less every year on the same time. So I much appreciate you showing up in these great numbers, and we're going to have you some information, interesting information to share to you here today. For those that I'm meeting the first time, my name is Jan-Erik. I'm the founding partner of Axopar Boats, and it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to our booth here today. Let's get some of the arrangements out of the way before we start the presentation. So, I know that some of you need to leave here in half an hour. Our press conference will go a bit after. You will be missing out a big part of that because in the end there will be some more revelations done. But for you who need to leave, there's a press kit that you can get from Adam and Mike. And also in that press kit, there is a QR code from where you can get access to all the information you need and all the press kits and all the pictures. The pictures and the technical data, fuel data, all of that will be updated this afternoon today. So tomorrow morning, you will have all this information ready and available on all the news that we're sending out and telling you here today. Additional for those that want to do sea trials. We have the sea trials out on the same pontoon as before, so you know how to get there. But I just want to remind, if there's somebody new to Cannes, I mean first time here, all our boats are over at the sea trial dock, so you need to go over the first jetty and then at the super yacht village, turn a right and get up to the outside of the other pontoons.
The world looks different when you're on a boat. Leaving the shore and seeing a broader horizon is an electrifying sensation. And we believe it should be accessible for everyone. We open new perspectives by bringing people out on the water. No matter how big or small their adventures are, they can be great explorers or curious minds ready to give boating a try.
That's why we make boats differently. Our innovative One Boat, One World concept stands for boats of great value that are multifunctional, easy to handle, and fuel efficient. Our exceptional yet user-friendly designs have been loved, questioned, and replicated. As the industry forerunner, we welcome ambitious competitors and even those who imitate when it's for the greater benefit. We share the love and respect for the nature with our ever-growing global community of Axoparians.
Are you ready to step on board to discover new perspectives?
We are the Adventure Company.
Part of our mission video. Why do I show it to you again? I showed this last year to you, but I still believe that even this year, it's even more important to do a small recap of the message we have in our mission statement. And we actually see so much development we were talking about 1 year ago happening even at this stand today and for the days to come going forward. Also, one thing I want to share that keeps a company motivated, that keeps a company going. These are our values that all our employees are following, and these are the #1 things that motivate us to have fun on a day out, even though we sometimes stumble, but it's a question of getting up, having that sisu and the perseverance of getting the job done and learn from that experience. There's a saying, innovate, or somebody put it more aggressively, or die. I want to use or go home. We are here in order to innovate, and that we've been doing since soon 10 years. In 2014, we founded the company and we launched the first Axopar 28. And it's very interesting to see how the development over these 9 years now, soon to become 10 years, how even you, members of the press, understood our concept. And you understood what we were doing, because in this year, 2014, you handed out to us, and we are so grateful for it, the Best of Boats Awards, the European Power Boat, and the Motorboat Awards for the same Axopar 28 concept. A concept that actually is setting an industry standard today and is creating a new type of boating called adventure boating. What we're seeing is also other larger players coming into the market. And it's actually to us a true validation that we were spot on. We were the first, we were the forerunner, and we were the first movers into this genre of boats where people questioned our brand, questioned our functionality or price point or way of building our boats. And now we see so many following afterwards. And this is a validation to us, and we appreciate so many doing that, because there are benefits also coming out of this. The market today is actually tightening up. The joy days after Corona has soon become a regularity and a return to normal, if we call it that way. So the overheated willingness to buy a boat at any price, any brand, for any use, even if it didn't fit you, but there was a boat available, you would buy it. This industry is now getting more stable and getting back into the basics like we've been so many years in the past. But also with all these new brands entering the adventure market, there's also a variety of different products that were never ever available in this genre of boats ever. And this is, to me, only a true benefit to our owners. Going back to our mission video, we love competitors coming up with better products, because it's the competition that creates better products and better experience for our customers. If all of us do this good, and we equally raise the bar every year to newer and more innovative and more fuel efficient and more better built boats, the more boaters we will get into the industry. That is just the basics out of it. So, going forward, it's also for us important. This is actually a word that our Italian dealer said, Janne, whatever you do, whatever boats you do, whatever concepts you come up with in your team and within your company, please stay and keep on breaking the rules. And that is something that we're going to be staying and being committed on to do in the future. Okay, so welcome everyone to Cannes. We have actually this year even more boats than ever. We have 16 boats in total to showcase our customers and showcase to you, many of them that have world premieres on the show. The one thing that we are here for are sea trials. And this year we brought to you 2 of the 45s for sea trials. We have the 45 Cross Cabin Travel Edition, which is actually a collaboration we've done together with Patrick Polch in order to get a deeper understanding of enhancing comfort on board on the 45. So we are actually showing a bit of a factory concept on further creating more sociable spaces and more functionality on board on the 45. So I would appreciate any feedback that even you have about this project. And then when we get all this feedback from our customers and dealers all around the world, then we see what part of this goes into serial production. Also, we brought the 45 Suntop. Also, in addition to this, we brought the Shadow 900 Suntop as well. All of these, of course, model year 2024 models, all upgraded with a lot of new stuff, cool stuff on board. As well, the 37 Cross Cabin. So again, book all the sea trials with Mike and Adam, and we are looking forward to having so many of you on board. The boats will be here during the entire show, so just set up a time, and we're happy to have you on board. Now, a short word from Andy, our CEO.
This one. Andy.
Ah, there you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen and the press members, welcome on my behalf as well. I will keep it very short because I know that you have limited time and you are eagerly waiting, you know, Janne, to reveal the stuff we have for you here today. Few words to tell. If we look back to the model year 23, it was a demanding year, but we managed. We pushed the growth as we have done the previous years as well. But the one thing what I would like to use this opportunity now is to thank all our dealers, partners, in a factory, in a supply chain. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And we look forward, you know, continue to pushing those boundaries in a future also together with you. Very humble thank you also from the owners, board, and I think the Axopar staff. We really appreciate that you are here today. It's really an honor to have so many of you here. And we truly hope that one of our values, fun, you also have a fun with you when you are with us here in this short moment this afternoon. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so for some real news, our flagship 45-footer is expanding. And we're so excited and so delighted to be able to showcase you not one, but actually 2 world premieres here in Cannes during this week. So we're going to be showcasing you this beauty, the Axopar 45 Suntop, together with its sibling or sister boat, the Axopar 45 Crosstop. 2 really interesting boats. What we have said in the past, we still stick to it. This is our view, and we believe this is a new, fresh view on how to get more onboard socializing and different areas on board utilized to the maximum, together with really functional boats, but with one true, let's say, uncompromised feature that we will never compromise on an Axopar. And that is the drivability and the thrill of driving that we are so happy to see, and we hope that this can relate even over to you when you are behind the steering wheel. That do you feel this sensation of thrill driving the 45? Because this is over a 9-ton boat, but it really feels like a 35-footer to handle and drive in any sort of conditions. But don't take my word for it. Let's look a bit more.
The world premiere of the Axopar 45 Crosstop and the Axopar 45 Suntop. Hi Patrick, whose boat is better?
My boat is by far better.
Why?
I want to be standing in the wind. You know, it's hot here. I want to have, you know, the feeling of an open boat.
Patrick, have a look at the windshield. Having full panoramic view from the helm station. I'm fully 100% covered from any wind chill or any water.
This is a Suntop, and I have like this gap in between the roof and the window. I have the wind blowing in at my head, very sportive looking window. So I think this is the right choice from my point of view. We have this central wet bar where we have 2 big fridges here. We have 2 more fridges, optional one here.
Hey Patrick, you can easily sit around up to even 12 people around the full center area. Open up the boat entirely.
For me, this is like a sunbathing place because you're so close to the water, or you just sit down here.
I have a full refrigerated cooler. I have a grill running on electric. And I have the sink in here, and still I did not lose any storage space underneath.
So Jan-Erik can do a full sunbed here in the middle of the boat, so you just lower the table, sunshade in the front and the sunshade in the back.
With the U-sofa configuration, whatever you choose, super comfortable lounge area.
What I have, I think is much nicer. I can just lie here in the back, so it's full beam of the boat, and I have this big window out to the back here.
In seconds, transform the whole aft deck area into a very comfortable seating area for nice alfresco dining.
My place to be, like on these sunbed, you can be like 4 people, like the same you can take in the bed. You just lie here and relax. Very protected when you're going fast with the boat. 2 to 3 people can sit here in the front. Guarding door cushions where you can sleep again on.
Open up the gullwing doors. Takes you a few seconds and creates actually a 5th social area on board on this boat.
what I love the most on these boats, again, why we are out here this morning, is how amazing these boats drive. This is you're very welcome here on the Cannes Boat Show. Test these boats. There will be 2 at the test pier, and this is what these boats make unique to every other boat on this show, and this is my fully belief.
So Patrick, price for the 45 Suntop or Crosstop, starting price?
It's like 600,000 euros.
Yeah, so that is like an unbelievable price for a 45-footer boat built to this specification with these standard options. The handling, the social space, the looks, everything. Like an unbeatable package.
So I'm done with this discussion. I take my boat to have some fun, enjoy the day. Sorry, Janne. The acceleration is just like a little small boat. So we are already on 30 knots. It handles like sportive, but it's just amazing. 38 knots. Good cruising. Janne is chasing us, huh?
Catching up with Patrick now. Looking good.
That was close driving. I don't know many boats you could do that with in this size.
Thank you, Patrick, for that video. That was a fun morning, 7 o'clock wake up, and yeah, that was really, really fun. Getting back into a bit part of the seriousness again. So this is actually a boat that you can provide 50 knots power with the triple 300 Mercury V8 engines we're having on board. So as long as you go for a lightly equipped boat, this is pushing 50 knots, and you will be able to do that as self when you're going on the sea trials. If you want to have the absolute, I'm giving you the nitty-gritty details here. If you really want to have it over the 50, you need to trim the middle engine up a bit higher than the rest of the engines, just as a small hint. Triple engines gets a bit more when you're getting into those last 3-4 knots. That is very crucial to get that. But again, one thing, it's not all about fun. It's also one thing that Axopar is truly doing with our boats. So we're a 9-ton boat, and we're a 45-footer with all that space you just saw in the video. But we are able to push our boats with 20 to up to 50% less fuel consumption than many other comparable boats out there. There is even one example where we are half of what they consume per liter per nautical mile. So in a 45-foot range, it's actually even possible, or you can actually see numbers of over 7 liters per nautical mile in general, where this boat is doing 3.9, 4.0, a bit depending on load and how much options you have on board. So this is something that Axopar will always stay truly committed on, pushing the boundaries of hydrodynamics and fuel efficiency. Now, I would want to say that we have one of the most comprehensive ranges of one model on the 45s together with the cross cabin as well. So now we have a variety of different products with a variety of different modularity for any of our customers or following or future Axoparians to choose from. Also, we have 2 world premieres for you, the Axopar 22 and the Axopar 25 Mediterranean edition. The 22s and the 25s are known to be one of the best handling boats on the market, but also now, because we made them so, I can actually give you a bit of an insight. The 22s and 25s for us in Finland, and Jan knows this very well, we use these boats to go in between our summer home and our main harbor. And we go on a Friday and we come back on a Sunday, no matter what the weather is on Friday or Sunday, we're driving. So the boat's #1 functionality needs to be driving and handling, and it needs to be running dry and it needs to be running comfortably. So that was what the first focus we had on the 22s and the 25s. But now we're also then adding a splash of more comfort on board. Let's have a look at this.
Only 2 hours until the Yachting Festival is open. The 22 and the 25 Mediterranean will have their world premiere here during the day. The 22s and the 25s are renowned for their seakeeping ability, handling and drivability, and that has always been our key focus. But now, with this launch, we're actually adding way more socializing and way more comfort on board. Let's have a look. The very first moment you step on board, you actually see that the 22 has completely been changed. We actually changed the upholstery and we made some of the seatings more plush and more luxurious and more comfortable. So now, this is the U-sofa configuration. You can also have it with the modular center storage, which you have on the 25, I'm going to show you later. But here, now, you can really sit down and relax in higher quality grade materials that we took from the 37 Mediterranean, with the soft decking floor also from the Mediterranean. The seats are turning around, you can have a table, has a high-low, and you can have this also now converted into a full-size sunbed for real lounging on board. Let's have a look at the front. We made huge bolsters so that you can just, sit down and relax with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people even in the front, just, for that perfect day out and anchor and just relaxing wherever, wherever. Let's have a look at the 25 as well. Welcome on board the 25 Mediterranean with the multi-storage. Here you can immediately see that there's been some significant change on this option. You can still be seated in the traditional up to 6 persons or even 8 persons comfortably all around the boat. But now the real magic comes with the extendable sun lounge that really changes the boat entirely in just seconds. You can be here relaxing side by side or lift the center storage, the center bolster, move it up, and now you have perfect seating for 4 people facing forward. Let's have a look in the front. So we have the Mediterranean soft decking, and now of course the sun lounge in the front has also been upholstered with the Mediterranean. But there's more. If there's something unique also on the 22 and the 25s, is the multifunctionality. Underneath the helm seats you have a full sink, and one of our specialties, you also have a cooler drawer underneath the passenger seat. This is just a perfect example of us listening to our customers and listening to what they want to see next coming out of Axopar. Next year, there's going to be more surprises coming up, so stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of cool things coming from Axopar in the future.
Thank you. So customer feedback is absolutely critical to us in order to be able to develop our products even further. And that is something that we're so appreciative of from our global dealers all around the world, that they can give us this valuable feedback, what customers want to see next coming out of Axopar. Going over to Brabus Marine, we're also not resting on our laurels. With the Brabus brand, we always go with the 1 second wow. So in 1 second, you need to see something, you need to recognize it, and when you recognize it, fall in love with it and buy it. These are the basic DNAs going into any Brabus product, and we're just continually pushing the development of Brabus products, and now into model year 24, we've done something even more and even better. So we're so happy to announce also, and this is actually a boat that you will be able to see trial, the new model year 24 Brabus Shadow 900. And as you see, it's already completely different from the products that you've been seeing in the past, with more detail, more graphics, more carbon fiber parts, more Brabus. Anything coming from, and now we're really starting to carry over components and ideas and design ideas over to Brabus, and this is also one thing of the things that we promise you to show you more in the future, coming, that now we understand each other to the very core and essence of both companies. And that means that we can also start going into some true details going forward. Upgraded front cabin, gullwing and front seating cushions for even more space, more lumptious, softer paddings, you know, any day to just enhance your experience on the water. Additionally, we're also showcasing, of course, on the opposite side, together with all the Jobby gear, and also with the Brabus Shadow 800 car, we're showcasing also the Quantum White Brabus Shadow 300. And as I said, the Shadow 900, if you haven't had a chance to drive it yet, this is something that you need to get on board. This is actually something really thrilling to drive. Let's take a short recap of what we did this spring. We bought ourselves a share in Evoy. Why would we do that as a boat manufacturer? And why would Axopar be looking into electrification? Well, to us, this feels actually pretty natural. So I'm giving you the 4 reasons why we want to do it. First of all, we want to learn about the electrification, and we want to learn about the industry in itself. But also what we want to do as driving development of our models and our products, we also want to be a part of driving the development of electrification going future. Because we see there will always be electric boats on the market going forward. There will always be a demand for electric boats. But the one thing that we also wanted to do, and in a way to shorten the route to all the other boat manufacturers out there as well, is to give valuable insight and information to all the other, to Evoy, so that they can evolve their product portfolio and their offering and the way of doing installation and all the logistics behind it, so that any other boat manufacturer can utilize a faster assembly, easier assembly, because what we are here to is to offer hassle-free electric boating. That's the number one for us. We also know that there will be an opportunity to create more boaters going electric. We know that there are some customers that don't want to go with fossil fuels out on the boats, but they already have their electric cars, their electric scooters, electric bikes, so for them electric boat is a natural transition and an add-on to their own collection. Also, in addition, a perfect fit with boat clubs. We're going to go into that a bit later. This was the number one first question we got when we started talking about electric boats. Range anxiety. And I just want to give you very simple explanations of how I feel fully comfortable and don't have any range anxiety at all when we talk about the range and the models that we will be offering coming out from Axopar in the future, in the near future. Let's take an example. This is Jussi. Jussi is living in Finland. Jussi has his home and he also has his summer home. Jan knows this very well. We have a lot of people in all over Scandinavia that have a summer home where you're spending your day from Friday to Sunday, every day, as long as the sea is open, we're there, no matter what the weather is. There's also then probably you will have a boat to get there. And in addition, you will probably have a port where you have that boat on. So now, let's have a look at Jussi. And I just took Nauva as an example because so many of you were in Nauva this summer, and I had the opportunity to showcase even more boats to you over there. And now you know the area a bit, so you know how boating in Finland, Sweden, Norway already is all about. So let's say we have his home, he takes his electric car to his dock, he has a boat and drives to his summer home. Do you guess what the general, let's say, distance between your dock and your summer home in general is around Finland or in Scandinavia? Yeah, so 5 to 10 nautical miles. That's in general. And usually you always want to have then your port where you have your boat, you usually move that to suit the best access to your summer home. So let's take, for example, we had the dealer days here a few days before you arrived. And we actually brought, which is a bit hush-hush, we bought our first Axopar 22 electric here as well, with the Evoy 120 horsepower engine. And that boat already is giving us plus 15 nautical miles of range. So I just draw a circle of 10 nautical miles around this, just to give an understanding. So now Jussi will be able to drive to his summer home without any problem, without range anxiety whatsoever. In addition, usually in Scandinavia especially, you have electrified your summer homes. So, and especially when you're a boater from the past, always when you come to dock, you pull your shore connection in. Always when you come to your summer home, you pull your shore connection in. Now there is nothing changing. You're just charging your boat instead of charging the batteries. So for the owner, nothing has changed. It's exactly the same. But now his boat is fully electric. And now, this is the range where he can go out and play during a day. Because usually, when you go out in your summer home, you do small trips, you go to some sightseeing, you go to some favorite restaurants all about. And this is where it gets really interesting. We working closely with our team in order to try to push for electric chargers in the nearby and most, let's say, visited hotspots in Finland, for example. I know that this is happening in Norway, I know this is happening in Sweden the same, but with Kempower in Finland, we're doing this the same. So, what happens? Now you go for an evening to a dinner somewhere, and during that dinner, you're able to charge. So you put a charger at the restaurant, giving you, in 1 hour, a fast charger, a charge so that you can do this again. So going this way, with only like a 10 nautical miles, 15 nautical mile range, you're able to do all the boating you do in a weekend. But what happens when we change this into 25 nautical miles, like we showed last year that we could do when we took the first prototype, Axopar 25 electric, and we drove it from Cannes to Saint-Tropez. This is how 25 nautical miles look like. So for us, in Axopar, with the double battery on the Axopar 25, a boat that is capable of 50 plus knots top speed and 25 nautical miles with 25 knots of speed, I don't feel range anxiety for that person who is doing this type of boating. And this is from where I believe everything will start. Enough about me. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth, from the founder and the CEO of Evoy, what's going on with them. Hi, Leif.
Thank you, Jan. There, great explanation about range. It is true, it's one of the most common questions that we do get about range. We do realize that the range is maybe not sufficient for everyone, but it is sufficient for most. Might have to borrow your
clicker. Sorry.
So good. So a little, some of you know us from before, but a little recap. We were established in 2018, and we have now 50 employees. We have sales to 17 countries, but mainly we are the global leader of electric propulsion for performance boating. So it's a good position to have, and also, as Janne mentioned, we were lucky enough to start a partnership and even a closer collaboration with Axopar as of this spring, where they came on board and took a 10% ownership in the company. We're quite excited about this partnership, as it will, of course, transfer into accelerating electrification all over the world faster with the collaboration that we're doing. Then, of course, it's also natural to mention one of the things that you saw here last year was the cowling, the 300 horsepower outboard from Evoy, which is called the Store. That's now ready for production and will be delivered to the first customers in Axopar this fall. So that's exciting for us, an exciting next step to move on with that. And this is the design for the finished cowling. So this is doing 300 horsepower. What is maybe not as commonly known is that 300 horsepower is what the motor can do continuously. But the motor actually has 600 horsepower in peak, meaning 440 kilowatts, which means that you can put the boat into plane hull and accelerate like, yeah, insane, really fast. And this is one of the really nice features with these boats that is something that we're excited to show everyone on Axopars and also other boats. For you here, and it's important for you also to know that although we are in bed with Axopar, there is room for more. Of course, in the agreement between us, there isn't a particular exclusivity, but so it means that Axopar also understands that we need volume all over the world to bring the cost down for all electric boaters. So it's a natural part of being good friends and agreeing on going together towards the future. It's also natural to mention that we have a full program of 4 different motors that's going to be both in and outboards. Of course, with Axopar here, the most important is the outboards, but we also do have inboards. The 400 horsepower we've had on the water since 2019, so it's getting to be quite a mature product by now. And there will also be available other motor sets that you can see behind me going forward. lately but not least, the Gale, which is 200 horsepower, which we are excited to bring to Axopar and the world within the next few years. And maybe most noticeably the inboard 120 and the inboard 300 that will be available next year. So a lot of things going on here that we're excited to show you. It doesn't stop there. We're building a big digital ecosystem around our systems, meaning of course you have an app that's it says itself, but we're building connectivity around this, meaning we can do over-the-air updates, we can do over-the-air diagnostics. If something happens to your boat, we can connect to the boat and see what's going on, and usually we can tell you what it is. Sometimes you can fix it yourself, sometimes it will be one of our partners, or dealerships, or Axopar, or boat builders, and if worst comes to worst, then Evoy comes in and helps our partners to fix whatever comes up. So this is also something that you can't get through a fossil fuel supplier today, but something that Evoy brings to the market with new electric systems. Of course, fast charging is something that we do, and something we have an addition here that's not on this list. We are actually working with vehicle to grid. So in Janne's example, where you take your boat to the cabin, and potentially next year you will be in a position where you can charge your cabin from your boat. That's something that we're also quite excited to work with, that type of functionality going forward. So a lot of things coming up, and maybe the most exciting of all in my mind is that we are already working with how to bring this technology into full self-driving. So we're already next year hoping to do the first demos with level 1 of autonomy, and something that we think is really, really cool, and something that can add value to both us and to the customers using our systems in the future.
That is some really cool news, Leif. Thank you for that.
Good.
Thank you. So, why did I start with that video before we're going to be talking about the boat club that we just invested into and the world premiere of the Agape X Axopar Boat Club? These sceneries could be a perfect day out as an owner in a boat club. So this is what we're truly aspiring for. And we really want to create an opportunity for those who don't want to own their own boat to have one membership and actually be able to go to do true global adventuring and boating anywhere around the world. So we bought ourselves a big share of Agape, and why did we do just that? First of all, for us, it's very important. This boat club has been and built its reputation over 6 years already. So we're buying into a concept that has already been proven. They've also made their trial and errors and mistakes, and they've got up and they've got it better. So that's also for us that we can now really go straight into the nitty-gritty details in how we can make this coming faster to the market. Addition to that, we also know that we're going to be able to get more Axoparians into our world because of just this boat clubbing. Addition to that, this is of course a perfect range extension for Axopar, because for us, the adventure company, to you to be able to have an Axopar, which is also something we can come to later. You can even own an Axopar somewhere, put it in the boat club, and in return you will receive a membership, and you can go boating anywhere around the world in the future. So this is even the myriad of opportunities that we can do together with this boat club concept. And we believe this is one of the futures of boating. Peter, I welcome you on the stage to tell you a bit more about Agape.
Thanks, Jan. Hello, hello. Well, I'm Peter Asplund, the co-founder, actually together with my wife. And as Jan said, we share a lot of common interests. So I promise, Marit, right? 5 minutes, so I'll be quick, because I have a tendency to talk quite a lot, and I love what we're doing. So I'll be quick, but if you want to know a little bit more, then let's talk afterwards. So let's start, let's see what we have. This is our conviction, but it's also our vision. And we strongly believe boating in the future will change. And as you may see, we completely share the overall view that boating will increase. But we think the way people consume boating will change. The traditional ownership will over time decline. Membership boating, and as you will see also electrified boating, will increase. A lot of this will be, as I think Jan just mentioned, a hybrid as well. And it's important to say that membership boating, we don't put membership boating towards ownership. They're two different things. But we do believe that membership boating meets up to the new generation's requirements on a more, you could call it lifestyle boating. And as I said, in many cases, it's a hybrid. This is one reason why we are doing what we're doing, and that's also why we love working with Axopar. The other thing, I have to be very honest, every single week, myself, we are like 90 people now in the company that have invested in this. I would say we are pretty experienced boaters. We are building what we want, the kind of boating experience we have always wanted. We've had boats, we know the hassle around boating and so on, but at the same time, our love for the sea, and by the way, agape means exactly that, love, which is the Greek no, and our respect for the sea. That's what keeps pushing us. And the question we ask us all the time, are we building what we and many around us want to see? Because we are quite different than most other boat clubs. And we are not saying that we're better or worse, we're just different. We are more mirroring a modern boating life. No restrictions. You can go out a day, a week, even a month in Stockholm once our partners get a bigger fleet. And the key three things why we love this cooperation, why you joined us now, is actually, the first one, it's simply, it's sales. We believe we will tap into a much bigger market. Because it's not just that we are able now to offer new people into boating. 80% of our customer base, they have been boating all their lives. They love real boating, the 37s, the 45, but they don't want the hassle of owning a boat. So we are simply creating a much bigger market, and by both, for the dealers now, and this is what we've seen, for the dealers to be able to offer both boat sales and membership creates a perfect combination. So they have the chance to catch a much bigger part of the addressable market. Obviously, this is always number one, because it's about, in the end of the day, revenue. I would say emotionally, and now this was the first thing Jan and I went with. This is something we have completely in common with Axopar, and this is about this. We have more than 1,000 visits right now, guesting members. You know, this is one membership, and I can show you later on. You go into the app, in 10 seconds we can book a boat in Ibiza, Mallorca, Marbella, Helsinki, Stockholm. And you got the feeling it's the same boat, it's the same procedure, you belong to one international club. All our members, and more that have tried this, they're hooked. More than 80% of our members, plus 400 now, they stay. And this is what's so cool, because when we discussed, I mean, you even call it adventure company, right? Mm. This is part of our DNA. So from this is what we are today. Well, in 3-4 years, I'm the one with the control, right?
Yes.
This is what we see.
So a perfect way of us to utilize our Axopar dealerships, and not only our Axopar dealerships. Of course, we also welcome anyone that wants to come as a boat membership partner within and doesn't need to be selling Axopars, but we're really looking into a hybrid business model of Axopar dealers also being able to offer memberships.
Yeah, no, because as many dealers that have been talking to now, the downside with this, it's rather complex, it's rather comprehensive, but once you understand the possibilities, it's an amazing world opening up. So this is one of the most emotional posts because our DNAs are completely aligned. But I also would like to mention this. We are already working, we've been working for 3 years now. A part of our mission is to drive sustainability. We need to make this business more sustainable in the future. It's not just our kids that are telling us. We as a company, we need to drive this development. But we need to do it in a wise way. We have 45s, we have electrical boats. They will live together for many, many, many years. And what's really cool here, just to give you as an example, 80% of the trips in Mallorca could be done today with electrical boats. We have all the data for more than 13,000 trips from 7 years now. So we know that we can actually accelerate the implementation of electrical boats in a wise way, because in many cases, they don't make sense yet. But allow the members to try the latest technology. I'm really looking forward now to get the 22 and the 25 into the club. We also have 2 Candelas, very unique boat, not at all a competition to Axopar, but do our members love to be able to try it, the latest technology? Yes, and all of these things, we think we're pushing electrification. We give our members a choice to always go with the most sustainable. And that's where the Axopar low fuel consumption also comes in. Because we would never work with boats that are too fuel non-efficient.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. Did I make it?
Yes.
More or less.
A bit past.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. Thank you. And now, we're talking about our 10-year anniversary. This will be a part of the press kit, and you will be able to get more information about this as well. But if there's something that we wanted to be able to do, and what we should do also with the Bravos, is to have our customers to experience more. And the one thing that we're now doing, which is actually a really cool collaboration we're doing with 3 pioneering companies. We've been working with Joby closely before, but we're also now going to start working even closer with sail racing. And what are we going to do? We're going to do something that nobody has ever done in the marine industry before, and this is something that we will be able to launch to you in Düsseldorf next year. But the real cool stuff here is that we are developing kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, underwater scooters, clothing lines, shorts, jackets, pulleys, anything to get an immersive brand experience on board an Axopar, so that we take one of the best clothing manufacturers, the best water sports manufacturers, combining them with an Axopar in order to offer a full, comprehensive, like a brand experience. An inflatable kayak for 1 or 2 persons, that fits perfect for us. So that is something that's being co-developed together with Joby. The stand-up paddleboard, of course, everybody already knows about stand-up paddleboards, but it's the clothing line and it's the functional clothing. Actually, if I go back, we will also start doing other things, which is just a small teaser. Hooks for the kill switches. We're going to have man overboard buttons that you can have straight on top of that. But the real thing going forward is that all of this will be available for purchase while you order a boat. So you don't buy these separate. You can do that also if you want. But what can we do in order to create something more? So we want to share you some information of the next thing that is coming up, the next Trailblazer, the next Forerunner, and the original. Now, happy to present you that in Düsseldorf in 2029, we will be showcasing you the all-new Axopar 29 range of products. So, we've been talking about having a lot of competitors looking into what we do as a brand and trying to get the best emulation and ideas from us, and we're happy with that because now we're able to showcase our 3rd generation of product, the first 3rd generation coming up, perfectly aligned for our 10th year anniversary. So this is something that we're really proud of being able to achieve, and what this product will have will be more design, more space, more economic, more power, more options, more of everything. Why? Because we've been able to make a bigger boat with more or less the same weight, that is powered with the same engine, that is more or less the same cost as the old 28 in itself as well. And we're also being able to make it way bigger, so you can sleep 4 persons on board, 100% on this boat. So that's the information I wanted to share with you. and looking forward to seeing each and every one of you in Cannes next year, and of course now for the sea trials this year as well. Thank you, everyone.